All right, what's going on, boys and girls? So this particular video, we're going to be talking about how I customize Ubuntu. Specifically, the distro I'm using is not Ubuntu proper. It's an Ubuntu flavor, span, remix, call it whatever you want. I could easily do a sudo apt-get Ubuntu Unity, Ubuntu TAC Unity TAC desktop, and do it that way. But I appreciate the work that the Ubuntu Unity dev is doing. Something that more people should have taken up when Kanako decided to say au revoir to Unity, unfortunately. So let's roll into how I customize Ubuntu. Now, this is different than how I would customize, say, Plasma or Arch. I tend to use more Qt-based stuff for the most part when I use Plasma. And any GTK stuff, to be honest, just it integrates better on Plasma than trying to run KDE/Plasma stuff on GTK-based GNOME stuff. It looks better. This, because it's GTK, and there's going to be a lot of discrepancies from what I would normally do, because I find a lot of GTK apps to be, let's say, limiting, to be quite frank. So let's roll into how I customize, what I change from the default, and all the other stuff. So first off, let's just go to the default app stuff and get that out of the way. So for those that want the information, this is, ThinkPad E440S. It's a Core i5, 4300, 8 gigs RAM, 120 gig SSD. Nothing, or 128 gig SSD, whatever, you know what I mean. Nothing too impressive as far as that. Let's go to details again, and we'll look at default applications. Default web app is Opera. Why? Because I can't freaking stand certain aspects of Firefox, but really, what matters to me is the built-in proxy. I'm not going to call it a VPN. The built-in proxy is really nice to have. It's decent speeds. Say what you want. It's proprietary, but it also enables a certain level of customization that I normally can't have. Local mail clients I don't use. That's what pin tabs on the web browser are for. Calendar, I don't know why it uses the text editor, but hey, whatever. I generically don't use calendars anyway, and if I do, that's what that's for. Music, I do not use Rhythmbox. Why in the goddamn green earth is Rhythmbox still the default player when there's such a good player like Lollipop? Just saying. Video player, I actually have a couple different ones. For local stuff, default, I use Deepen Movie. It finds the right functionality and balance between what videos offers, that simple quote-unquote interface, and something a little more, which in VLC and some of the other stuff, MPV, is just a little too much more than what I need. So Deepen strikes that right balance for me. And for photos, I actually use Deepen Image. It's just, there are certain aspects that I like about some of the Deepen apps. They don't integrate well with the GTK-based DE, but at the end of the day, they offer what I need, and that's really what matters on this particular machine. Because what you'll find is this particular machine and the applications that are on it are tailored to this machine and its use. So let's look at Unity Tweak, which is another app that the Ubuntu Unity dev actually adds. First up, as far as the launcher behavior, I auto hide, fade and slide. I don't change this. I actually usually have that enabled. So we also have the transparency level, which I usually don't change too much. I don't know why it's not at the default. I usually keep it based on wallpaper, and I really don't change much of this. As you can tell, my icon size over here is 22. I don't have a show desktop icon because I really don't care. Search, background blur, that's what that is. Search online, I always disable. Show more suggestions, I disable. Show recently used, I disable. Enable search for files is the only one I keep enabled, and you can clear your history if you decide to. Panel, menu visibility, I don't really change. This changes the actual panel above, so if you really don't like seeing things, there you go. As far as times, I keep it at the 24 hours. I add the seconds, minute, date, week, calendar stuff, just because that's a thing that I care to see. Show my name is the other one that I enable. For some reason that doesn't keep saving. Switcher, I really don't change anything here. Additional, again, don't really change anything. Overviews, go to general. I do keep the window animations. I mean, you can change them pretty much whatever. Window glide. Hey, look, it comes back. Anyway, we'll keep that at zoom. Workspace, I added a workspace switcher, which is all the way down here, so that would be this. I do 2 and 2. Don't really change much, whatever. Window spread, Super W, do that. Window snapping, you know. I don't know if I can do it with, can't do it. It's your side-by-sides and stuff, that's all. Hot corners, this is actually working. So let's do show workspace, and hey, look, shows the workspace. Additional auto raise, focus mode. I don't really change any of this stuff. I care as far as any of that. Appearance, I use ambience still. Icons, I use Papyrus. Cursor, I use Yaru. Font, as you can tell, I use Ubuntu Light on everything except for window tile, which I changed to Light Italic, just because I find it more pleasing in my eye, but to each their own. This is what customization is all about. Desktop icons, I don't do any. Security, this is if you want to disable stuff. And scrolling, I don't change anything. So those are my customization settings for Ubuntu Unity. As far as apps, I don't use GNOME software. I use AppGrid when it comes to Ubuntu. Looks better, more symmetrical. The only thing that kills me is the all-white background and the fact that reviews currently don't work anymore, and that's mostly due to the Ubuntu One integration for reviews and how that functionality is not there. And I will kind of just quickly show why. GNOME software. If you look, waste of space, you can add at least another 2 applications, one on anchor in on each side, so it's more symmetrical. Wasted space on the sides, wasted space around the icons. These could be smaller. You have wasted space in here where it's not symmetrical. These could go up a little bit. Then you get down here and everything's just crammed together. You know, the way they categorize stuff is it's ugly. Like, really, at the end of the day, for me, both these applications are amateurish at best. I'm just going to be frank as far as how they look and operate and stuff. But if I'm comparing amateur to amateur, I'm going to call AppGrid better. It just needs to fix the all-white background, and it needs to fix the reviews that do not function. I know what I'm looking for, so I really don't care. Apps I use, Home Bank, that's my preferred application for home financial stuff. Cinelera takes some getting used to. You either like it or you don't. So this is why some people will not care for Cinelayer. This interface takes some getting used to. This is more of a multi-monitor setup, honestly. Let's see. PS Office. This is my default Office application. I dislike LibreOffice's interface. It feels old, clunky, kludgy, and I've had way too many compatibility issues with certain people using weird stuff from Office. So I have to have something that is more Office compatible, and I've just found that it's WPS. You know, I could do only Office. You could do X, Y, or Z. For me, that's just what works better. Ocean Audio, when I just need to do simple edits. Audacity is when I need to do something a little more. So you'll notice this is what Deep in Movie is. Has the double headers, you know, at least with the window framing, even though there's an X over here to close out and over here, it's still consistent for the most part because all of the global menu stuff still works as far as killing off processes. I use Glimpse over GIMP. Two reasons. Nothing to do with the naming convention. Short version is I find Glimpse to be a better marketing name than GIMP. GIMP is an acronym, but a terrible marketing name. Glimpse is not great, but it's a hell of a lot better. Second reason, at least the Glimpse devs actually listen to the community. The problem with GIMP that I've had is you want to design your app your way, totally get that. But at some point, there has to be actual listening from what the community wants to what you design or what you make. I mean, for the love of God, this single window mode that we have now, how long did it take to actually get a functioning single window mode? Forever. So for me, Glimpse is just a better, it's just better. Each their own, but you know, that's just my thing. Inkscape, this is when I need like scalable graphics and stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. Krita, when I usually need to tweak some wallpapers or add some layers and transparency stuff and overlay that in Glimpse. Darktable I use mostly for my own personal photo stuff. Steam, so Deep in Image Viewer. So the thing I like about this is that it's very straightforward. There's not a lot to it, and I'm totally fine with that. Zoom I do have to do Zoom calls. Deja Dupe I do not use. I much prefer Timeshift. I like the stuff that Tony and George has done. I just find it a better application than Deja Dupe. And Spotify, because we live in a streaming world, hate to break it to people. And I dislike the system monitor in Ubuntu proper, Unity, etc. This is the default system monitor, as you can tell. This is my preferred one, which is Staysafe. Looks better, has way more functionality, and this just, I don't know, this just looks old to me. And I think that's a lot of my problem with a lot of the, and limited as far as its functionality. And I think that's a lot of my problem with a lot of the default apps in GNOME. So that's why I change so much in most applications that I use. I just find a lot of the defaults not something I care for. Generically, that's why I go to Plasma. But when I'm in Ubuntu, I prefer that Ubuntu Unity experience. It's just, it's different. So I treat the machine different. I treat how I use it different than, say, the workstation or the big beefy bastard that's back there than anything else. So those are just some of the things I do to tweak and change and customize Ubuntu and what I like and dislike and why and how come. A lot of it's going to be personal flavor. It's personal choice. Some of it's aesthetics. Some of it's there's many different reasons. And at the end of the day, that's what is great about the Linux community. Linux, you are free to choose proprietary, open source, FOSS for those that want to whine and bitch and complain that I'm not using the proper terminology. At the end of the day, it's your choice. And that is what we should value more than anything else. And that is the core reason I use Linux, because I can choose what goes, what stays, from top to bottom. And at the end of the day, I just like having a base and just doing what I want to with the rest. I can't do that in Windows. So what do you guys change? What do you guys customize if you use a pre-built distro? You know, doesn't matter. So let me know. Comment what you guys change. So I will catch you guys on the flip. This has just been kind of a one-off video. Not doing any post or any of that kind of stuff. So appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.